Very bad and disturbing news for NATO High Military Command and the Armed Forces of Ukraine continues to come from the Avdiivka direction. So, this morning, numerous independent military telegram channels and war correspondents from both sides began to spread information that Russian troops managed to capture the dominant and strategically important height in Avdiivka. Meanwhile, on September 12, the press center of the Russian grouping under the designation South officially announced that Russian combat aviation had delivered a massive blow to the 110th, 53rd, and 93rd Mechanized Brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine in the settlements of Avdiivka, Kurdiamovka, Mariinka, and Belagorovka. As a result, about 400 Ukrainian servicemen, 3 tanks, and 5 infantry fighting vehicles were destroyed. Such large losses of the armed forces of Ukraine in manpower and heavy equipment were also confirmed by numerous Ukrainian sources. At the same time, insiders note that a terrible and depressed atmosphere reigns in the press center of the armed forces of Ukraine. It seems that every day, it becomes more and more difficult to hide the truth about what is happening on the battlefield. The mood of the Ukrainian generals was also spoiled by numerous video frames that appeared on the network. Those shots once again proved the fact that the Russian troops managed to take full control of the railway in the village of Stepovoy. This means that the ash dumps of Europe's largest coke-chemical enterprise, also known as the Avdiivka coke-chemical plant, have been taken under the full control of the Russian army. According to military experts, the loss of such a strategically important point caused not only a crushing blow to the armed forces of Ukraine, but also significantly lowered the morale of Ukrainian soldiers. The fact is that this point is the dominant height of the Avdiivka direction, and the transition of this strategic height under the control of Russian troops threatens the entire grouping of the armed forces of Ukraine in Avdiivka itself. Meanwhile, Polish military experts from the analytical center, Roshan Consulting, said that the armed forces of Ukraine will completely abandon offensive actions this winter, and will begin construction of defensive structures along the entire line of the front. According to Polish military experts, this explains the rapid offensive of the Russian army in the Avdiivka direction. At the moment, the main goal of the Russian command is to deprive the armed forces of Ukraine of the opportunity to shell Donetsk from Avdiivka before the onset of winter. Poles are sure that Russian troops will liberate or completely surround Avdiivka before the winter frosts begin. At the same time, Polish experts note that the Russian army uses very effective offensive tactics in Avdiivka. Thanks to these offensive tactics, the Russians managed to capture such large cities as Bakhmut, Severodonetsk, and Mariupol. The main feature of these tactics is to cut the supply lines of the armed forces of Ukraine. As a result, the Ukrainian army loses its ability to resist and leaves even large cities. Meanwhile, German military experts from Die Welt recognized the superiority of Russian troops on the battlefield. According to them, the success of the Russian army on the battlefield is due not only to the presence of more modern types of weapons, but also to the fact that the Russian army continues to adhere to the rather effective tactics of General Surovikin. Moreover, German experts also recognize the fact that NATO's hopes of breaking through the Russian defense line with the help of Western tanks and other heavy equipment were not justified. Experts admitted that NATO tanks, which are 20 tons heavier than Russian tanks, looked very pitiful on the battlefield. As a result, the Ukrainian armed forces were forced to use Western tanks as artillery, and later, those tanks were taken to the rear. Well, as you can see, even Western experts with pro-Ukrainian positions are increasingly beginning to give fairly unbiased assessments of what is happening on the battlefield. All this indicates that even the Western information field is not able to hide the truth for a long time, and that sooner or later, the truth will come to light.